in conjunction with a phenomenal organization in North America called Hapi. And I'm so happy to, literally so happy myself, to have with us today one of the founders and chief executives of Hapi, of the Hapi movement, Brother Taaqiy. Brother, are you with us? Are you with us, my king?
Yes,
Woo!
sir. Peace.
Peace, my big brother. How you doing? Brother, how can you just maintain your beautiful, smooth looks every single time?
Listen, man, I'm just trying to follow in your footsteps. That's all, man.
Oh, brother, man, you got to teach us in the UK some of the creams you're using, brother, man, because jeez, it's looking good, big brother. How you doing, my king?
Listen, doing well, man, doing well. Waking up one mind at a time.
Now, for the last few weeks, brother, we've had some phenomenal people that you've nominated to come onto the show for a few moments, breaking down the history behind the One Africa Conference and how it ended up in Detroit, I believe it was. And so what the platform was well informed now about that. We now understand that it's now available for purchase. But brother, I really wanted to hear from yourself, about the Hapi movement as well, and touch on that. The products are still available, but let us know in the UK, brother, how can we support Hapi more, and what is Hapi for those who may not know what Hapi is?
So Hapi is the original name for what people call today the Nile River.
Yeah,
I just got to take a step back for why I chose that name for the film. The Hapi movement began with the documentary film Hapi. It's over 2 hours and 12 minutes long. For those who are on the platform who have not seen Hapi, we had a couple screenings in the UK virtually, but those who haven't seen it, then go to www.hapifilm.com and get a copy. But Hapi started with just the notion and the idea of just trying to understand the relationship between the kingdoms of the Nile. And when I took a close look at, one of the things is I realized, and I actually pulled this out as I was prepping for the interview, this is what Egyptology looks like. It looks like the Black pharaohs in the south from Nubia, and it looks like these people in the north, the so-called ancient Egyptians. This is 2 articles produced by the same magazine, National Geographic, and this is their example of what Egyptology looks like. This is how they explain it ethnically and racially. And we have a real problem with that, because what it states is that the so-called Black pharaohs, or the Africans who lived in the south, were always subjugated by these mixed race, non-descriptive race of people in the north, whom they call Egyptians. And we know that couldn't be further from the truth. So in my studies and my research, one of the things I really wanted to unravel was the relationship between these 2 African kingdoms of the Nile, Kemet and Kash. I wanted to understand that better. So one common thread that they have within themselves is the river, what we call the Hapi Itiru, or the Nile River, right? So in looking in that process, I realized that there was periods in where they actually fought together alongside one another against Asiatic invaders. And a particular instance was during the Second Intermediate Period, when they fought in conjunction against the Hyksos. And for me, that was very interesting, because the history that Egyptology teaches is very different from that. It teaches that there was always enmity between Kash and Kemet. They don't speak about what they call Kermaware, which is the pottery that was manufactured in ancient Kerma. Now, this pottery is so important because they found what they call large amounts of Kermaware in a certain city in ancient Kemet, which denotes that there were large amounts of Kerma Nubians there. For me, I said, wow, here's your first African Union. Here's the first time Africans are coming together on a unified front, which we call Power and Unity, which we'll get into the conference in a minute, on a unified front, fighting for a common cause. They never want to talk about this. This is like one of the biggest hidden secrets in history. Thus, Hapi was born. Hapi was built on the aspect of unity. And when I really started to look at the Hapi symbol itself, what Hapi symbolizes in terms of the glyph, you see the 2 Hapis, Hapi, what they call Hapi of the North and Hapi of the South, tying the lotus and the papyrus plants together. What you're speaking about is unity, right? But understanding ancient Kemet and its foundation, you have all these different groups of people coming together, merging, converging to the Hapi River, to the Hapi Itiru, to where they found this civilization. So you have all these different groups. So the standard or the premise for the civilization had to stand on unity. If it was no unity between these tribes, it would not be a civilization that lasted for 3,000 years. You understand what I'm saying? So when we talk about who we are as a people and understanding what our premise is and what the most important aspects of who we are, what we need to do, unity stands at the forefront. And I love what you're doing in terms of what we're doing collectively, in terms of the unifying our schools of thought and coming together across the pond. Is something that we need to have as a model for all African people moving forward. So this is what it is, man. It's about unity, it's about Pan-African unity, and Hapi stands on unity. And if you look at this is something we've been sharing with people lately, the symbol for Hapi is always, most times you see it seated on the side of the seated ruler or the seated Nesupeti or the seated pharaoh, so that he sits on the seat of power, and his power is the unity. Without the unity, he does not exist. Without the unity, he cannot rule.
This sounds absolutely beautiful, brother. I'm telling you, it's poetry listening to you, King. I'm not saying it just to make you feel good, brother. You know, when you're dropping this type of knowledge and the symbol of unity and what have you, okay? But big brother, what would you say to those who may say to you, why is it important that we go back and reclaim Egypt? Why Egypt? Why not we go and reclaim somewhere else? Why is Kemet so important for us in the diaspora to reclaim?
You know, I'll say this to you. It's all important. All African history is important for Black people, right? And the brother Kevin was dropping some jewels. I was listening to him as I was waiting. And one of the things Kevin said, you know, which is really powerful, he reminded me of a statement or quote in Stolen Legacy, the great work by George and James. It speaks about how Greek mythology stolen Egyptian and African philosophy. And in Stolen Legacy, George and James speaks about he quantifies his statement that the Greeks could not produce any civilization because they was constantly, how Kevin said, worrying about their bills. They were constantly worried about war. So did not allow them an opportunity to be creative. Whereas in the now, with the Hapi and the Hapi Itiru, it gave them the ability not to worry about these things, right? They didn't have to worry about food. They didn't have to worry about bills. They didn't worry about stuff like that. So their minds were able to be so creative that they were able to chart the stars, build pyramids, build, you know, extensive temples, develop writing, math, science. All these things were done because the simple basics of life were not there. So we need to understand that along with the philosophical aspect that the Nile provided, there was also a social and an economic piece. And this is why Hapi is, again, for us so important, because Hapi is also the role of economics in the development of civilization. So it's not just understanding who we are historically, but it's also understanding who we are historically in an economic context.
Brilliant, brilliant. And
you know
brother,
what I mean? So
yeah, sorry, brother, carry on.
So even when we talk about, you know, the relationship between, again, the kingdoms of the Nile, or relationship between, you know, ancient Egypt and their neighbors and things like that, you always see a lot of times the wars that were fought based on, I want to say money, because there was no money, but it was a lot of times trade routes. It was things that was an economic, something that concerns or affected the economy. And this would more times than not, they went to war for. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what it was always been about. And this is what it's always going to be about. The economic piece. So in Hapi, our one of our main cores is the economic literacy. And then we have a saying, economic empowerment through economic literacy. I know here in the States, one of the problems we have a lot of time is this consciousness and money don't seem to go hand in hand. The brothers and the sisters with the information don't seem to go hand in hand with the brothers and sisters that have the money. We need to have both. We need strategy and finances to be successful. And that's what this drive is. And to answer your question, and I'll close out with this. And Professor James Small said it at the end of the film, and we had to close the film out with this point. It is important, and this is why Egypt is so important to us. It is important for us to find the Hapi River of today. What is our ecology when it comes to our economics now, right? For the most part, we're not farmers. We don't live in an agrarian society. But how do we find things that we can use in our resources in our communities to empower ourselves economically? That is the lesson that was left behind by our ancestors, or one of them, they left many, of our ancestors that lived along the banks of the Nile. Use your ecology, which is the foundation of economy, to find or fuel your economy. And that is one of the main takeaways I take from them, you know, amongst many. But looking at that one, I realized like, okay, this is how we're going to empower ourselves.
So brother, that was so powerful, so beautiful. I want to give a shout out to brother Jamie, because whilst you've been talking, brother, people have been asking for your website, and I want to thank Sister Jamie, because normally we have Sister Samira here that's just on the ball, giving out the links. And I see brother Jamie, not Sister Jamie, brother Jamie, as brother Taaqiy was been speaking, been dropping some of the links for the One Africa conference. I thank you so much. Jamie, if you can put some of those links in again, so that as Taaqiy is finishing now, that brothers and sisters, because Taaqiy, you know, just as my last question, brother Taaqiy, my last question to you, and you've expressed it so beautifully just now, my beautiful brother, the importance of economics to the struggle. Yeah, even if we talk about you know the black culture, but culture comes from agriculture. You know what I'm trying to say? Going back to the ground now, what would you say then, brother? If we're trying to find out what is our rich, we've lost the so-called land right now, because also along the River Nile we had the black soil. We could build the Nile civilization on the black soil, build the pyramids, food. So for us in the West today, without the agriculture, without the so-called land, what would you say then, my big brother, to the audience today? What's our power base? What should we be using to start our economic revolution?
You know, it's interesting, but those two things are relative to location and time. You know, some people live in a more of a rural area where land may still be available, where they can do some farming. Black farmers are very important. One of the things that you find today that's very universal is technology, right? And I think you're doing a good job at mining technology. You are a technology miner. You have a tremendous platform, and you use that platform. You're using the ecology of today to do your economics. You know what I mean? So it's you know, real estate. It's something that, you know, we need to take a hard look at. Investing in Africa is something we need to take a hard look at. These are all the things that are still available to us in a way that we don't have to look very far. A lot of times our riches and our economics is right around us. We don't have to go very far. It could be retail things, wholesale things, you know what I mean? So we have the ability, and a lot of times we just got to kind of think outside the box. I mean, the 9-to-5 is great. We all want jobs and we all want money, but to really empower ourselves, entrepreneurship has to be a way to go, because entrepreneurship helps us not only to pass on generational wealth, but it also helps us to empower other people that are around us, help us to employ those who look like us. And one thing that we have in a Hapi movement is our economics is pushed forward to the community. And we make sure we do business to business or B2B with other Black organizations. One of the things we have, and people who are interested in having them, is some of the Hapi gear. This design was produced by brother Nubian Imhotep, or Nubian Apparel, and he did most of our artwork for our t-shirts and things like that. So these are the things that, you know, we do. He designed the One Africa logo, and the people who edited, you know, Fredo Williams, one of the editors, the Black editor. So Michael Drake, the other Black company, you know, that we use. So all our economics is funded in our community. We have a saying in America, I'm not sure what it is in the UK, but the dollar pretty much circulates about 6 hours before it leaves the Black community. We need to change that. You know, we need to change that. So, and the way you change that is by making sure you're spending your money with Black people. And if you can't find someone that looks like you, try harder. You know, so this is what we do. But we want everybody that's listening to definitely go out, support the program. We're in a 25K push on YouTube. For those who are not subscribed, please go to our YouTube channel, Hapi Film, HAPIFILM, and please subscribe to us on Hapi on the platform. And if you will, Big Brother, I just want to kind of close out with the One Africa Conference and the importance of that. Just give them a little brief history on what occurred. You mind, Andrew?
Yeah, no, please, brother, please.
Okay, so we opened up talking about asking about the One Africa Conference. We planned originally to have this conference in Egypt. For those that don't know, the conference was planned for February 25th and 26th this year. And at the time, it was called the One Africa Returning to the Source Conference. And then the notion or the context, the content that was being discussed in the conference dealt significantly with the understanding that African cultures are linked together, either ethnically, linguistically, or artistically. And we were showing proof and evidence that, for example, that Wolof, the language in Senegal, is connected to the Metanetia, right? Or that the Ankh and the Quabra are connected, right? Things like that. Or you could find examples of the Ankh, early examples of the Ankh in South Africa, over 200,000 years old. You know what I mean? So the presenters were presenting this type of information. It wasn't until maybe a week or so before we were scheduled to go to Kemet for this powerful conference that we received a lot of pushback online from a group called Afrocentrism Debunked. And that set off a thing with the hashtag called Stop the Afrocentric Conference. It got so big where major news media outlets like Al Jazeera, CNN, Middle East started contacting me because they wanted to know about it. They put together newsreels about this conference until the Egyptian government kind of stepped in and things kind of got stopped. So we had to change our conference from Kemet to Detroit. And we also changed the name from One Africa, returning to the source, to One Africa, power and unity, because we realized that nothing can happen to us if we have a united front, right? And the way they was able to kind of stop what we were doing, because they played both sides against the middle, or divide and conquer. We have to stop this, and we have to figure out ways to have a united front. And a united front comes in One Africa, power and unity. So we had the conference. It was powerful. All the 12 dynamic speakers all around the world, again, dealing with this Pan-African unity concept, this Pan-African unity, not only idea, but it's something we're striving for, you know, because that's really, for me, I only see a pathway to success through Pan-African unity. We have to learn how to work together. We have to learn how to live together amongst ourselves. We can't be warring and bickering with each other. We can't do that. Those days have to be over. Tribalism was got us in the situation we're in today. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Even if we did this shit back then, we have to stop it now. We cannot allow tribalism to keep getting us in the same situation that we're in. So we had speakers from Cameroon, Dr. Susan Tata, Haiti, Diana Bello. You had Brother Riza Islam, Jabari, Brother Infodisi Jehutimes, Professor James Small, Dr. Linda Jeffrey, Dr. Rosin Jeffries, you know, Dr. Ken Harris, Brother Kaba Kamini. So all these different speakers came together and presented not only on the concept and brother, sorry, not only the concept and aspect of African cultures being connected, but also something on that was more universal, which I love the best. The universal topics about Black love, Black dollars, Black power. You know what I mean? So it was a powerful conference, 12 hours long, and people can see it all around the world. It's available digitally. They can go to happyfilm.com. They can get a copy of it. It's 12 hours of the most dynamic speakers, you know, that you'll ever hear. So definitely, they can go support, do that. It's definitely something that, even as we say, but that they try to stop the conference, for those people who, we need to figure out ways how to get this information out, because just watching the conference and being a part of it itself is a revolutionary act, because they didn't want the information to get out. We have to make sure this information gets out to our people so people can see, like, yo, we got to understand what this is and what this is all about. You know, so happyfilm.com, sign up for they can sign up for the newsletter. They could definitely get the link for the Happy Film.
Brother Jamie's just put the links on.
And please, people, definitely go out, sign up, subscribe to us on YouTube, get us in this 25K push. And that's it for me today, brother. Peace.
Fantastic, brother. As you've been speaking, Brother Jamie's kindly been putting the links into the chat, brother. So thank you so much. I would like to end off with yourself, brother, by stating it'd be phenomenal, brother. I want just to think about this idea to do a One Africa conference in London. You know, it's something that I personally, and I'm not even joking, brother.
And I love the idea.
It'd be well attended, brother. And I think that, you know, I know as Hidden Truth, we would definitely like to work in conjunction with yourself sometime in the future, if you so wish, and let's do a One Africa. But that's how, you know, the OAAU started in London, beloved. And Haile Selassie and Marcus Garvey, the greats came over and they held a massive, you know, African Unity Conference in London, beloved. Right. And I think we could honor them and honor our present generation by with us, Hidden Truth, working with Happy to do a conference in London, beloved. We can get the right venue and pack out with thousands, brother. So maybe that's
I'm sure. Let's do it.
If that's something that you'd like to think about, obviously offline,
I ain't got to think about it. You know, and I'm gonna close with this. it's for us, our pathway for our liberation is very simple. We have to stand united, and we go back, take a page out of our past, and see what we did when we had dealing with situations like this, and how we fought for our liberation. We fought for our liberation by putting aside our differences and coming together, fighting for a common cause. That's it.
One love.
One love.
One love, King.
One love.
Brothers and sisters, make some damn noise for my beautiful black brother, my Nubian Kemetic black brother, Brother Taaqiy. Make some noise, brother. Brother Taaqiy, look at the ones, man. Look at the ones. Look at the fire.
Shout out to the family all around the world, man. Shout out to the global African family.
Come on, man. Shout out to the global African family, brother. We always love to see your smiling face on our platform, King. And not only smiling, but dropping some serious, inspiring knowledge, brother. Brothers and sisters, this is the hidden truth. Linking up in North America with the Hapi industry, I'll say Hapi empire, because it's films, meetings, conferences, the whole lot they're doing that in North America. And we're our brothers, they're our brothers and sisters here in the UK and in the Caribbean and in the motherland. Brothers and sisters, make some damn noise as we move on throughout the night. Yeah, Happy is with us. Happy is with us. Happy is with us. And the brother spoke heavily about